Welcome, folks, to this edition of In the Field with UK Extension. I'm Jason Phillips, and this is Adam Huber. And so today we're going to be talking about, based on University of Kentucky information, how to build a raised bed. So first off, we're going to go over our material list and then basically show you how to build the raised bed. And so Adam, start us off and talk a little bit about what we've got here today. And again, we're using this publication.
Right.
That's Gardening in Small Spaces.
Right. Yeah, this is the Gardening in Small Spaces publication here. It's ID 248. You can find this on the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture website. In this publication, it goes through, it's got material lists for several different types of raised beds, which today the raised bed that we're going to be building and showing you all how to use is just a basic wooden raised bed. And so
pretty simple design.
Pretty simple and pretty inexpensive, and we'll kind of do go over the cost of what it costs us to purchase this stuff today and to show you all how to build this today.
Right.
So we can go ahead and go over our material list, Jason. And so since there's two of us going to be working on this project today, we do have two sets of eyewear. So we always want to make sure that we have protective. If we're using any kind of drill or any kind of
power tools,
any kind of power tools, we definitely want to make sure that we're being safe whenever we're using those, right? Because we definitely don't want to get an eye put out or anything like that. We will need a drill. Whether it's this one here is a cordless drill, you can use a corded drill. As long as you've got a drill, that's all that matters. You will need that. Obviously, we're going to need a tape measure here. And Jason, these two items here, you don't necessarily have to have these, but we purchase these
to make the job a little bit easier and quicker.
It's always good to work smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly.
And so what we've got here is a 3/16 drill bit, and then a 7/16 head for the drill. And what we're going to use these for is we're going to pre-drill our holes for our lag bolts, and we'll go over this in just a moment. So that's what those two items are for. Not a necessity, but it will make the job a little bit easier.
Exactly.
Next thing we've got here is a skill saw. This is what we're going to be cutting our wood with, and to make a straight cut,
we've got to have a square.
We've got to have a square and some type of writing utensil, whether that this is just a pen, but usually a carpenter pencil works a little better, has a finer line that you can see a little better. The next thing we're going to have, these are 3-inch, quarter-inch galvanized lag bolts. And we have 16 of these.
16 of those.
So what we're going to do, and we'll show whenever we start building, is we're going to put 4 of those in each corner. And there's 4 corners, 4 of them in each corner, so that math tells you that's 16, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll also need 16 of the quarter-inch washers to go on your lag bolts as well.
And you can find all these things at your local hardware store, more than likely. Right. So that's where we got these. And then onto the wood. Right. Now the material list calls for a 4x4x8 post, which we were able to purchase. And of course we're going to have to cut this 4 times in order to make it, the appropriate length. Right. And then the parts list calls for 2x12x8s. But the lumber store that we went to had 2x12x12s. Right.
They didn't have them in the 8-foot, so. You can do some shopping around and find, you may be able to find some 8-foot 2x12s, and you may not. So whatever you end up getting, you may have a little bit extra.
A little bit of material left over, and we will. Right. So, we already had the drill, we already had the skill saw, the square, and the tape measure. Right. But based on, with all this material that we bought, the bits, the glasses, the bolts and the wood, we've got about $70 in this.
Right, and that's with a little bit of extra material left over as far as the wood goes.
And we're going to do a later video after we get this constructed. It won't be in this edition, but talking about some media that you would want to buy. So there is going to be a little cost involved, you know, with the soil media. So you want to anticipate that, and of course also your transplants that you might want to put in there. But in order to just get it built, you know, you're looking at about $70, but you could probably get away, you know, maybe just a little less.
Yeah, and so basically today all we're doing is showing you the construction, how to construct a raised bed. This is going to be a 4 foot by 4 foot raised bed, and we're just going to be showing you how to construct that with the materials that we've purchased today.
And if people are watching this video, they've probably already got some interest in a raised bed. But real quickly, let's touch on why might you have a raised bed?
Yeah, so that is a very good question, Jason. You know, raised beds are really good if you have a limited amount of space to work with. You really love fresh food, you love gardening, but you live in town maybe and you just don't have that 10-acre field behind your house that you can just do whatever in. So this is where raised beds and container gardens are really beneficial. And you can build these raised beds. So this one here today that we're going to build, this one will actually be sitting on the ground. And of course, like I said, we'll talk about media and soil and stuff later, but you can set those on the ground, but also depending on how you want to build it or what your preferences are, you can raise these up off the ground, maybe build a base for them, you can put wheels on them.
So if somebody has physical limitations, they can't bend over very well, you know, you could purchase or construct or have somebody build for you a raised bed that you could more easily get to. You know, additionally, you know, if you don't have a lot of people in town or a lot of people that just have a small yard, don't have a large area, you know, they don't have the access to equipment. I see this a lot, you know, and you can purchase nutrient-dense soil, you know, or you know, you're able to, in that confined area, not really have a lot of equipment costs or, you know, asking somebody to borrow a disc or, you know, a tiller maybe. You're able to do this, purchase your soil, and then you can grow your own vegetables, which, you know, obviously are highly nutritious. And it's really fulfilling to grow your own vegetables.
And also too, you know, as far as whenever you do put in your soil media or whatever it is that your compost, whatever, you control that. So you put in high nutrient stuff, whatever it is that you're going to put, you control that, and it also helps with weed pressure. You have less weeds in a garden bed just like, or a raised bed just like this as well.
Exactly. So, you know, it's just easy and convenient to do this once you get one constructed.
Well, Jason, I think we pretty much touched on the material list and kind of why we would want to have a raised bed, and so I think I'm ready to get my hands dirty and get this thing built. What do you say?
Let's go. Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to mark this in 4 foot increments, so I've just run my tape measure from the end down here to a little over 8 feet, and I'm going to mark it at 8 feet. And then I'm going to move back down to the 4 foot mark and mark it right there. There we go.
So now you're going to mark the 4x4 at 1, 2, 3, and 4 foot. And that's going to be our braces for the corners. So now we're going to take our square, we're going to mark our line here. This one is at 4 foot. This will be our first 4 foot section. Again, we're making a 4x4 raised bed, so we're going to have 4 4 foot sections. Move on down. All right, guys, now we got all of our 12 foot 2x12s marked. We've got 4 sections at 4 feet each. Now we're going to go ahead and cut those. Remember to always wear your safety glasses. And obviously, whenever you're using a power tool, you're going to have to, which we didn't mention in the first material list, but you're going to have an extension cord and some kind of power outlet as well. So we're going to go ahead and cut all 4 of our boards. All right, so now we're going to use our 3/16 drill bit we've got. We'll put this in our drill. We've got our frame kind of laid out there. We've got our board, our sides up with our 2x12s, and we've got our corner braces in the corners for our the 4x4 braces in the corners. So we're going to go ahead and pre-drill the holes, so it'll be a lot easier whenever we actually put our galvanized lag bolts when we try to screw it together. All right, now we've got all of our holes pre-drilled, so we're going to put in our 7/16 drive bit into our drill, and then we're going to go ahead and put in our bolts. We're going to have like I said, we've got our holes pre-drilled. We got 2 on each side, so we're going to have 4 on each corner. We're going to go ahead and put in our lag bolts.
Okay, so now we've got our raised bed constructed, and it's a little early in the year right now, so we're just doing some planning and getting ready for the gardening season. So we're going to do another installment of In the Field and actually show about adding your soil media and planting your vegetables.
Right, because as you can see, we're in the barn today. It's a little windy outside, and so for video quality purposes, we wanted to get it inside where you guys could hear us. But like Jason said, on our next segment, we're going to actually show you how to put your soil media in, and things like that.
And this is just a simple raised bed design.
Right, yeah, this is a 4x4 raised bed.
4x4 raised bed. The materials are in the University of Kentucky Gardening in Small Spaces publication.
ID 248.
But you can build a raised bed out of a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be wood.
Doesn't have to be wood.
It could be stone. It could be concrete.
Right.
Really what we're trying to do is have some sort of a frame to hold our soil in.
Right.
And control what's within that box.
And they can be any size, shape. I mean,
you can get really creative.
You can.
You can build them as simple, or you can build them as complex as you want to.
Right.
As short or as tall. I would think that you'd need to have it at least 6 inches deep,
just so you get a good root system.
Exactly.
Growing.
A lot of our vegetable plants have fibrous root systems and are going to need at least 6 to 8 inches of soil depth.
Right.
But hopefully this step-by-step video today is going to help you to construct your own raised bed, and then we'll help you along the way as the gardening season moves closer.
Absolutely. And if you do have any other questions, you can contact your local cooperative extension service, and we'd be glad to give you a helping hand anytime. You can get on the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture website. We have tons of publications on various topics, including raised beds, gardening, pretty much anything that you have questions about. We have publications on it, and also we can help you along the way. If we don't have the answer, we'll do our best to find out.
Every county in the state of Kentucky has a local extension office, so I'm sure your local agent would be glad to help you if you're not in Simpson or Allen counties.
Right.
But hey, Adam, I'm getting ready. I'm anxious. Gardening season's right around the corner, so stay tuned for our next edition, and we'll be glad to progress you along.